Hey guys, it's Mallard with another stamp video, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my Indian stamp collection, as well as how I organized all the conventional and feudatory states. So right off the bat, I did some research about Indian conventional states, Indian feudatory states, and I am not an expert on Indian stamps. This is just what I have learned. I'm going to talk to you guys about how I went through the process of organizing this stock book, and then I'll show you guys my Indian stamp collection. Not very big, but at least I got it started. So the first thing I did when I was working on this was I actually went out and I bought a brand new stock book. This is a stock book that has, I believe, 64 total pages, front and back, because I wanted a huge stock book for my Indian stamps, because I know that I have a ton of them in my bins, and also the ones I haven't organized yet. So I want to get a really big and good stock book. I will leave the link to where you can get a stock book like this in the description down below. Highly recommend these stock books. They are fantastic. Now the next step to this project was I went to my Scott stamp catalog from 2007, and I went and I basically looked over the older stamps, because every page in this stock book I want to assign where these stamps will go before I start putting stamps in there, because nothing is worse than starting your stamp collection and realizing you need more room for certain aged stamps. So these are Victoria stamps. So say I give Victoria stamps 1 page and it turns out I needed 5 pages. Nothing's worse than trying to reorganize your stamp stock books by moving as little stamps as possible. So before I ever put any stamps into this stock book over here, I always go to my Scott catalog and I plan out where the stamps will go and how many pages I will allot to the stamps. So I went through here. I decided I was going to give Victoria 2 pages front and back, and then as you flip the page, I looked over here, King George. I saw this and said, all right, I'll give King George also a page front and back. And I know there are some official stamps, and I just decided to put those on the pages with the normal Indian stamps. So I have 1 page for Victoria, or 1 page front and back for Victoria, 1 page front and back for King George, and then all these commemoratives that start coming in over here, I decided to give 4 pages front and back to those so I can really fill those up. I know I have a lot of those, but I'm not as interested in those because their values aren't as expensive as King George and Victoria, so I just decided to give those a little bit of space with 4 pages front and back, and then we get into the conventional and feudatory states. So the back of this section of my Scott catalog with India, we have this section called Convention States. Now these were normal Indian stamps that were overprinted with the name of the state. So you can see Chamba right there. If we move over here, let's see if I can find another one. One right here. I can't pronounce these very well. Gwalior. And I believe there are actually 6 conventional states. And so what I did, I said, all right, I'm going to give each conventional state 1 page of my stock book. And now the real work begins with the feudatory states. The kicker with these feudatory states is they weren't using the normal India postage. They were allowed, or I don't know, not sure if they were allowed, but they actually created their own stamps. So as you can see, these stamps look nothing like the normal Indian stamps. And I believe there's over 40 different feudatory states. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right, how am I going to fill up this stock book, but also make sure I have space for some states? I knew I was going to have more stamps than others. So what I did, and you guys might laugh at me, on the back of an envelope, I actually put the convention states, I listed them, and I did the feudatory states, and I listed all of them, as you can see. And I went through, and you see these lines. So I decided I would put 3 on a page with the collections that I didn't think were going to have a lot in them. And then if I thought one might need its own page, like Bhopal, I think that's how you say it, I decided to put a 1 beside it. And as you see, I grouped 3, Cochin, 1, Dar, Hyderabad, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Transicor, I gave 1, and then there was just kind of 1 for each of these. So as you can see, that's basically how I decided to organize my collection. So let's get to the stock book and I'll show you what it actually looks like. I've got my stock book. I've planned out how many pages I'm going to assign to each of the groups of stamps. So let's get into it. So like I said, I decided to give Victoria 2 pages, or 1 page front and back. As you can see, I do have some early ones. Some of them are in great condition. But these are early ones. And then on the back page, I decided to put the more common India stamps. And as you can see, I have the stamps that are not printed with the service overprint. Right there. And on this page, King George. As you can see, I include the service stamps on this side. Let's work our way down. And then I ran into a little problem. I realized I had more King George stamps, and there's actually more King George stamps than I thought. You see service stamps on there. So there's this type of design, and I have not gotten into the weeds about actually organizing these. As you can see, there is one A, so I think it's one Anna, brown and red, and I'm sure they come from different sets. I'm not sure. So I basically just try to put these in number order, and I will come back and actually organize these better on that page, because I realized there's some King Georges I wanted to put in here like these. So that's what I did. So instead of just having 2 pages, 1 page front and back for King George, I ended up doing 3. 1 front, 1 back, and 1 front. And then these pages, these next pages are all going to be commemoratives. Nothing too serious. I basically have just thrown stamps in here just to make sure I knew that these were my commemorative pages, that I didn't want any other stamps to go on. See, as you can see up there, there's only 1 stamp. Over here, a few stamps. Down here, this one I thought was pretty cool. Refugee Relief. I really like that one. All right. Now, like I said, we got into the conventional states. Chamba. Farragut. And as you can see, I don't have any stamps from there. I haven't really looked super hard, but I don't have any stamps from there. So we'll move on. Now we'll get into a few stamps. Gwalior. Got a few right there. Jeaned. I have 1. Actually, this one's really interesting. If you look at it, it says, supposed to say service, and the V is missing in the service right there. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if that's supposed to be there. I couldn't find my Scott catalog. Could be a mistake. Could just be a forgery. Who knows? I do think it's pretty cool, though. And then I have nothing for that one. And then this one I have a few, as you can see. And now we're getting into the feudatory states. And as you can see, I put 3 on a page. Some have some states, some do not. Bhopal, I gave 1 page. 1 right there. 3 right there. As you can see, I put 4 on this page because I didn't think there was going to be that many. I'm not going to worry about that. Cochin, I thought I might have some extras, so I decided to go on ahead and make it 1 page. 3, nothing right here. And I knew Hyderabad I had some stamps. So as you can see, I'm not super, I know this is Scott 24 and 26, but other than that, I just kind of laid them out. And as you can see, there's some red overprints, some black overprints. So yeah, don't know what to do about these. I'm just going to keep putting them in here. Hopefully I don't get enough that I fill this whole page. If that does happen, I'm going to have to figure it out. All right, moving on. And here's one indoor. I didn't expect to have a lot, but as you can see, I've added a few already. Jaipur, as you can see, I've added some already as well. Now this next stamp might be worth a little bit of money. I'm not sure. From Jammu. Now this could be a forgery. This looks a little fishy to me. I did do some research, and they were actually printed in blocks of 4 like this, and then they were cut up. So who knows? This could be legit. It could be a forgery, but I'm going to put it in that section nonetheless. And as you can see, now we're running thin on stamps because I don't have them for all the feudatory states. I hope one day I at least have 1 stamp from every feudatory state, but it's going to take some time. I do have 1 from there. And then Travancore, I knew I was going to have some from here. These are the conch shell stamps, as I call them. I have a few. keep moving, and Travancore Cochin, and that last one. So that's actually all the feudatory states that I have listed. And in the very, very back, I put stamps that have different overprints. So the British Empire actually used some of these India stamps, I believe, for other countries like Burma, British Somalia. So I think that's kind of what they did here. And as I open this back up to this front page, so that's how I organized my India stamp collection. Guys from India who are watching my channel like Ashwin, let me know if I forgot a feudatory state, one that is worth putting in here because there's a lot of stamps from it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep it going. Let me know if I missed anything as well. I am not a professional when it comes to India. I'm just trying to do my best to organize my stamp collection. I do have a ton of pages in here that are blank, that I'm leaving blank because I think I'm going to have a lot more India stamps in the future. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Talk to y'all later.